I've always loved Disney's The Prince and the Pauper. I think I originally had it as a girlier book, and then of course I watched the short film. I believe it's about 25 minutes. And scrolling through Disney Plus, I found it on there. I realised I hadn't actually watched it in quite a long time, and gave it another watch. And it's actually more delightful than I remember it being. Not that it's I'm not the target audience, it's definitely more of a children's thing. But if you're a Disney fan, I think you'll find a lot of cute things in this. It is, of course, based on Mark Twain's novel, The Prince and the Pauper. And our protagonists are both played by Mickey Mouse. I don't know if played is the right word here. But basically, we have two characters. We have Mickey Mouse as himself, and the prince, who is identical to Mickey Mouse. And Mickey Mouse, the pauper, happens upon the castle and meets the prince, and suddenly they swap identities, which is always fun. I love films about, identities like It Takes Two and Parent Trap and things. I always really enjoy that aspect. So as a child, it was something that appealed to me a lot, having their lives switched. Obviously, if you look at it at a more serious level, then it looks at the two young boys who live very different lives, but fundamentally who are very much the same. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, you all want the same basic needs. Love, warmth, somewhere to call home, friends. And it's great to see the prince interacting with Goofy. Goofy is in this. Goofy's got quite a strong role. I think he's a lot of fun in this one. Goofy's never been my favourite character. Absolutely nothing wrong with him. But for example, I've been meaning to rewatch the Goofy movie because that's on Disney Plus. I kind of just haven't done it yet because I don't love Goofy as much as I love Mickey Mouse or Winnie the Pooh. But I'll get there. But I really like this one. I think it's a lovely story that children can perhaps not necessarily relate to. I can't imagine too many children can relate to the prince, and I'd like to think that not many children relate to the pauper, even though that sadly is of course not the case. But I really like it. It packs a lot into 25 minutes. If you said, how can you tell the story of the prince and the pauper in 25 minutes? Well, this is how that works. I think it's very well done. It's good fun. I really like the style of animation. Very Disney, of course. And I love the characters of the prince and the character of the pauper. I think it did well to distinguish between the two. As a viewer, I think it's pretty easy to tell the difference between the two because of the way they carry themselves, the way they talk, their mannerisms. But obviously when you just look at them, it's the same drawing. It's the same mouse. I like it. I like it a lot. It's really great to have Pluto in this. I do love Pluto. And there are other characters like Donald Duck and Horace Horsecollar, who I've seen before, but I never knew his name. So that was quite an interesting educational moment for me. It's good fun. It's obviously, it's 25 minutes. It's not the most immersive experience, but if you're a fan of The Prince and the Pauper and you like the film or the book, there are obviously many film adaptations of this narrative. This is a really fun way to explore it. I like it a lot. Being 25 minutes is a good length for a child as well, because children have animations that are even shorter than attention spans. I was looking at the word animations. Children have attention spans that are even shorter than mine, and that is saying something. But this kind of helps to bridge the gap between a 5-minute cartoon and a full-length feature film. I really like it. It was released in 1990. The quality is so fun. It's brilliant. It could have been released, last year. It's brilliant. I really like it. Definitely check it out on Disney Plus if you haven't seen it. It was apparently released alongside The Rescuers Down Under, which is a film that I haven't seen in so long. I might need to revisit that at some point. I'm so glad Disney Plus exists. The Prince and the Pauper is very sweet.